saw a meme this morning that just really set me off, and I really want to go off about it, but I also know that I'm just gonna annoy a lot of people with my opinion. But I'm like really fucking good at that, so let's go. I know people get really irked when I speak about my own personal experience as a biracial person in America. But y'all, I'm about to go in. So here's the meme I saw this morning. Yep, so we finally got some black representation in the White House, and it still ain't good enough for y'all. Still ain't black enough. It ain't blackity black. It wasn't raised black. It still ain't black. Oh my God. Let me address this again. Some biracial people don't know their black side because their black side is the side that walked out of their lives. In my personal experience, my black dad didn't want anything to do with me, so a white man instead took on that responsibility. He not only raised me, he adopted me as his own. I didn't choose this. I would love to know more about my black side, but where the fuck did it go? Where was it at? How was I supposed to go out and get it? Supposed to just go to an area that I know a lot of black people live in, knock on a motherfucking door. Excuse me, hi, I see that you're a black family. I'm black, but I was raised by white people. Can you teach me? Can you show me? What should I know? Educate me on my own blackness. Where the fuck was I? Y'all get so upset that we don't know our black side, but like, bitch, where y'all at? Helping us out. The fuck? So a young biracial child that is raised in a white environment around white culture, how is that child supposed to seek the education to know about themselves if they're surrounded by white people? What? Do you not understand? We don't have the resources. We don't, it's not our fault. But yeah, I still represent black, and I'm still proud to be black. But for black people, it's not black enough. But I didn't choose to not be black enough. I would have loved for my dad to stick around, be in my life, invite me to the motherfucking barbecue. Like, bitch, you know? Now let me address this next comment, because this is something that has always irked the fuck out of me. When black people try to tell me, like I don't know shit about oppression. Okay, honey, here we go. So I'm going to try to word this correctly and make this make sense. But because I am black representing, black passing, you can tell I am not white. But I was raised in a town of a population 1,200, maybe 1,300 people, graduated with 32-ish people. Because of that, I have dealt with more racial discrimination. I have dealt with more prejudice. I have dealt with actual hate crimes. I have been exposed to more real life racial inequality than your average African American who is raised in a community of mostly black people, probably in a very urban city setting. I have dealt with more hate, and I have felt pure racism more than most African Americans ever have, because you've grown up in an area of all black people. Because I didn't have that experience, I have dealt with some shit. So it just really blew my mind the first time a black person told me that I wasn't black enough to use the N-word. When I can guarantee you I have been called a nigger more times in my motherfucking life than you ever have. I'm just gonna name a few examples off the top of my head of racism I experienced because I was raised around white culture and assimilated to the white culture. So, first of all, just how about having someone write nigger down the side of my car? Then they went to a couple of my friends' houses in town and wrote nigger lover on their cars. I was suspended 13 times from the 4th grade till my senior year, with over half of those times because a bully called me a nigger and I retaliated. I was always the one in trouble. I was always the one getting suspended because I needed to learn, as my teachers told me, to bite my tongue. But I don't bite my tongue, I fight back. And then I was the one punished because I was the bad one, not the racist who called me a nigger, the kid who was being bullied and fought back. On my way to school, the rednecks in their lifted ass trucks would swerve towards the sidewalk I was walking down just to rev up their big lifted diesel trucks and leave me in a cloud of thick black smoke just to laugh and shout nigger out the fucking truck. couple of my best friends turned on me instead of just being like, you know what, you're a dumb bitch, I don't want to be your friend anymore. No, it was, you're a dumb nigger, I don't want to be your friend anymore. I went to their house to physically fight the bitches. The mother answers the door. I said, yeah, well, you raised a racist because your child's calling me a nigger. The mom standing in the doorway is right there. The daughter's coming up from behind, points at the chandelier in their like foyer area, and was just like, see that chandelier? I'm gonna hang you from it, you nigger, right in front of the mom. So I said, that's your daughter, you raised that, you proud? I'll fight both y'all motherfuckers right here, let's go. Step outside off the property, beat that bitch ass twice. Got her for a hate crime because she threatened to lynch me. That was the one and only time I got motherfucking justice in rural ass Indiana. Or my personal favorite, because the KKK is still an active organization that holds meetings in Shelby County, Indiana, where I was raised. They decided to go out and print hundreds of pieces of paper that had the Jim Crow laws listed, and they posted them all over the telephone poles in town and made sure to scatter them throughout my yard and leave them all around my house. So, again, when black people tell me that I was raised white, I was treated anything but white as a child. So when you say that you feel like we wouldn't represent you well enough in the White House because we wouldn't understand your needs, excuse me, I have dealt with real life racism more in the rural ass backwoods of Indiana than you ever have downtown Indianapolis in an urban setting. So don't tell me what the fuck I know and don't know. Because I'm pretty sure if I was in the White House, it would be blackety black as motherfucking black could get, bitch. So yes, I do agree though that I do want the Black House to be blackety black. But don't discredit the representation that we currently have in office. Like, yeah, it's not blackety black yet, but bitch, we are on our way, okay? One day, the president's great-great-grandfather is going to have built the White House with his damn hands. And one day, the president's great-great-great-grandmother is going to have been a slave, okay? We are not there yet, but we are on our way. And the way that you discredit the blackness is not helping. Why can't we just be pro-black altogether? Instead of like, not black enough. Bitch, it's black though, isn't it? Can we just take a victory? Can we just be happy? I'm motherfucking happy because, bitch, we are headed in the right direction. So don't discredit it, because that's just fucked up. Bitch, blackety black, black power, let's go. And so that's my TED Talk. And I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of people who find a lot of flaws in my argument and disagree with me. But that's just my own personal experience. Cancel me over it. Thing I didn't touch on because it would literally take forever to explain the deep root of systemic racism is that yes, just because I was raised by white people doesn't mean I don't understand the needs of black people, because I've been educated enough now to understand why we have ghettos, why we have gangs, why we have everything, why black people are the way that they are. It's all because of history and where we came from and how we had to build ourselves up out of nothing. And now when we do have a little bit of money, we want to make sure people know we got money, so we spend it on like Gucci and chains and our grills instead of investing it back in our own self and making the black community a stronger, better place. Now we're just trying to reciprocate for not ever having the money. And there's just like I could go on forever, and like why there's so many black men in jail, because that is still like modern day slavery, because white people don't want to see black people out here living their lives, doing their best. So that's why they have harsh sentences for such like minor crimes such as like marijuana possession. Like there's so much that is rooted in the oppression of black people that I do understand just because I was raised by. And for the longest time, black men were only represented in media as being thugs or as being evil or the bad guy, because they are further pushing this agenda that black people are evil, which is why the police are still racist, because the police are KKK members. And that's why so many black men are incarcerated. But when you incarcerate our black men, you are also leaving single black women as being single mothers, and all these black children are being raised with only a one income household, and that income is very low, and that's why so many black people are in poverty and they live in such low income areas, and then the children go to low income area schools, so they don't get the best education, because it all roots back to systemic racism. Black people cannot get ahead in a world that was built by white people holding black people down. So again, back to this, don't say that mixed people don't understand the needs of black people. Like, what, you think I'm out here just being ignorant? No, I have educated myself. Like, so that's all.